Hello, this is our June video. Hard to believe we're already to June. But this is about writing the end. Oh, those are such sweet words. The end. You can literally write the end at the end of your manuscript. It's a sort of a rite of passage. As long as you realize it's not actually the end. You've got a lot of work still to do, but it's a great milestone. It's just like, wow, I got through my first draft. I've completed this kind of the journey. Now it's time to go back and polish everything up. But as I mentioned, the end needs to be the part of greatest tension. It is the time when the protagonist or protagonists have the greatest chance of losing. It's often darkest before the dawn, as they say. We're as far in the pit as we're going to go before we figure a way out. It is. The reason that people read is for catharsis. We experience this journey with the characters. We put ourselves in the character's shoes. We get this suspense, this build-up, this anxiety, and the greater the suspense and the build-up, the greater the release. When you release it all, you get that rush, that feeling of, all is right with the world. It's sort of wow, we did it. We overcame it. And that's the reason why people read, is they have this cathartic moment during the climax of the story, if you've done it right. So that, such a relief. I built up so much tension and suspense, and then, thank goodness, it's the reason people read. So that's also important to craft a great ending, and to make sure that the ending makes sense, that it builds on everything that you've already written, and that it resolves in a way that makes sense. So not all the endings have to be super duper happy, where everything just goes right and everything's flowers, but a lot of good endings that I really like are kind of bittersweet. They accomplished something great, but they also had to give up something. Or the events of the novel leave the protagonist changed in some way. They had to step into this adventure and they come out a different person. Or you gain something and you lose something. I like to think of the way the Lord of the Rings ends, where Frodo becomes a very different person because he carried the ring all the way to Mount Doom, and afterwards he's not the same person. He can't even stay in Middle Earth because he just doesn't feel like he fits in there anymore. So it's bittersweet. It's like, yay, we did it, but that you're gonna have to live with the scars of it. And I think that's a little bit more true to life. A lot of things that are hard won in life leave some scars, and they can be methods of growth and of change in a positive way, but they can also take things from you. So something you should consider, whether your ending wraps everything up nicely, whether there's still things you want to explore. If you're making it into a series, you don't want to wrap up everything, but always wrap up something. There needs to be some sense of closure. Some things need to be answered. Some things need to be resolved. It's okay then to go on to a new issue or problem or quest, whatever it is, but you have to provide some sense of catharsis at the end. You can't just say, and nothing was solved, wait for volume 2. They're like, I got through that whole book and nothing got solved, and there's no release at the end. Not everything has to be that way. Like if you're writing a series, you don't want everything to be resolved, or most things to be resolved until the very, very end of your series. But there needs to be some payoff for the reader at the end of each volume as well. So some villain that they overcame, some personal change that the person made, some progress, or some question, burning question that was answered. You need to make sure that there is some sense of forward motion and some sense of something getting resolved at the end of every story, even if it is a multi-part story. All right. Good luck wrapping it all up. let me know if you have any questions, and happy writing.